Welcome back to the Vi Media channel, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Marketing Monday. And of course, we are back. It's been a few weeks. Today, what I'm going to talk about is understanding a full marketing strategy, what it entails, and also how AI and development needs to be integrated into this process. And I'll tell you exactly why. It's probably not the reason you are thinking of. So, when it comes to, let's just say, for example, and of course, this is going to depend on your type of business. But for the most part, here at Vi Media, what we focus on first usually is going to be search, right? So it's going to be Google Ads and SEO. How do we get people to find your business for the services and products you offer, right? So if you're an HVAC company, you want to be able to be found for AC repair, St. Louis, for example, if you're in St. Louis, or AC repair, Chicago, or heating repair, whatever it is, right? You should be able to be found for those things because, of course, when someone is looking for that, obviously they're looking for a company to talk to. So first and foremost, you want to look at search, right? Is there enough search volume to justify, meaning are there enough people searching on a monthly basis in your target area? So wherever your clients and prospects are, the area that you want to target with advertising dollars, is there enough search volume to justify spending money on ads and SEO? And of course, a majority of the time, that answer is yes. Okay, then it comes down to, great, if we know it's a feasible avenue, there's enough search, let's look at the competition now. Let's look at, what is it realistically going to cost to get a lead from SEO and ads, right? So we can go into Google Ads projections, keyword planner, and we could get an idea on what that, that CPL or the cost per acquisition, cost per lead should be, right? So obviously we have the search side. So we want to be able to understand what can we get from search, right? Are there people searching? What's the competition? How much do we have to spend? How much can we get per lead? And then, of course, what's the scalability, right? So let's just say, for example, you're in a smaller town. Maybe there's only, a few hundred people a month that are searching for what you do. Or maybe there's only 100, right? A few hundred. And that means that, your ad budget, of course, is going to be smaller. So you have a constrained budget. You can't spend a lot of Google Ads just because there's not a lot of people searching. Okay, great. Or maybe you're in a larger city and, it's more difficult to target. Like if you're financial planners or insurance or things like that, it's a little bit more difficult to target those people because you're competing with, larger companies, right? Like Progressive or, Geico and things like that. So you want to be able to see the scalability of that campaign as well. Like realistically, am I going to be able to spend 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 a month? Or am I limited in search? Meaning I'm only going to, even if I want to dump as much money into Google as I can, I'm limited by search. So I know I can only spend this. Great. So now that we've looked at search, okay, we have search laid out. Obviously, we want to look at a website. And the way that we lay out a website is, of course, based on search. So we want to break it out into a sitemap. If you're an HVAC, you'll probably have home, about, heating, cooling, maybe mini split. Under heating and cooling, you're going to have, the heating and cooling repair. You're going to have furnace, you're going to have replacement, installation, all of that type of stuff. And the reason you're going to have those pages, of course, people are searching for it, and therefore you want to rank for it on SEO. If you don't have, a page title, an actual URL, meaning hvaccompany.com/heating services /heating repair. Well, if you don't have that set up, more than likely you're not going to be found for heating repair when it comes to SEO. So you want to build out the sitemap and understand what pages you need on your website. Once you have the sitemap down, then you can start to expand with a blog strategy, content strategy, more so going after not so much as people that are just searching HVAC company St. Louis, but searching for a specific issue. Hey, the fan is loud, right? Or my AC is not blowing cold air. Things like that, and be able to answer those questions, get those people asking those types of questions, get them to the website, of course, and then be able to convert them from there. Great. So now you understand ads, you understand SEO, how the website needs to be built out. Now, does social media make sense for your business, right? And of course, all of this, you need to come in with an understanding of where do we need to spend our money, right? Because social and content gets expensive. With Google Ads, a lot of the time, you do, at least at first, in order to pay for other marketing avenues, in order to get your business first started. Of course, Google Ads, local service ads, you can get leads generated immediately. Of course, SEO takes time. Facebook, you need to create the content. That could take a while. You're going to have to build out and get in front of the right people. But of course, with social media, the nice thing I'll say is you can get in front of a ton of people, hundreds of thousands of people, for not that much money at all. And social has been very successful for a lot of our home service companies that we have implemented a content strategy for, meaning we are putting out video content monthly, multiple reels, multiple videos on a monthly basis to not only increase organic visibility through YouTube and social media and Meta, Instagram, and LinkedIn and things like that, but also to be able to use that content for paid ads on Meta as well. That way we're not getting stagnant with the content, of course, that we are using, right? Because we don't need the same person to see the same ad 50 times. That's just an entire waste of money. So you need to understand social. Is your target audience there? If they are there, what platform are they on? Obviously, there's TikTok. You can advertise on LinkedIn. You can advertise on Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. So there's a lot of different platforms where you're able to advertise onto. The question is, does it make sense for your type of business? Obviously, you have traditional forms of marketing, email newsletters. I will say every company, it'd probably be a good idea to have this set up and to dump anybody, current clients, once a new prospect comes in, dump them into that. And have a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly newsletter where you're talking about updates in your industry, the work that you've performed, projects that you've completed, industry news and highlights, important things for, those people to know and understand, new things coming in. All of that stuff is going to be important for a company to understand, right? So have a good understanding of that and how that works. Does it make sense? Of course, it usually does. So I'd say get something like that set up. You can automate a lot of that process. And, that's something, that we're doing, of course, at Vi, is being able to essentially type up what you want into it, upload it into a program. We'll have essentially different templates built out. It'll just automatically formulate that and get that sent into it instead of having to design it every single week, which is a pain. Obviously, you have direct mail and things like that, right? I would say that direct mail, depending on the type of business that you're in, can definitely be a fruitful avenue with a return on investment. We know if you're targeting specific individuals, businesses, things like that, and if you have a well thought out and formulated direct mail campaign, that it can be advantageous. Like for home service companies and law firms, if there's a big win, or a big project that was completed, whatever it is, that you're able to then blanket the surrounding area, neighborhoods, with that information, right? So that's super helpful. And let's just say a storm rolls through. We got a ton of damage. It's been raining a lot, so we need our waterproofing company, right? It's springtime, so it's landscaping and yard cutting time. So let's start getting word out about that. So, and you want to have obviously the marketing plan be one, not just multiple different things that you're doing. It all should be one. It all should be housed in one area. And you should be able to view that data and know how well everything is working, which is what I was talking about before. What we've been doing or currently doing for all of our clients is we've added on an AI, and development side to Vi Media, where we're building out automatic call answering services. They can answer the phone. They can take the lead. They'll be able to put it into the CRM. They'll be able to upload the notes, all of that stuff done specifically. In that way, what we're able to do is obviously you want to be able to measure your, different marketing campaigns. And we want someone to be able to answer the phone and call people back. And we want, We want all of the marketing stuff. It's a lot to do with marketing. There's a lot to do with marketing when it comes to a business. So the more that we can automate, especially when it comes to like the sales side, and also just the marketing asset side, is very important. And once we have this agent set up, we're able to specifically track and measure return on investment, not just, from ads, but specifically from those different marketing channels. We spent $5,000 on that direct mail campaign. Great. These people called, these people came in. We're able to see those sources in the CRM. And of course, over time, what we're able to do is track that data, see those closings, see those sales, and then be able to make changes and be able to, identify opportunities that we wouldn't have been able to before. Because a lot of the time, marketing companies are just stuck at generating the lead and then not really knowing where they go from there. But beyond that, right, call answering chatbots. There's a lot of stuff that we're building out at Vi right now, which is going to be super useful really for the longevity of Vi Media, for the continued improvement of our services, obviously for our clients as well. And of course, for the companies that we own, right? So you need all of these in one platform. You need to understand how your marketing avenue works. If you're a new business, you need to know where to spend your money first. Where am I going to be able to get leads? Then you can reinvest some of that money into these other marketing avenues that are going to take some time to get off the ground, but eventually, obviously, they will pay off and will pay for itself and more. That is all the time we have for today. However, as always, thank you for tuning in. That's another Vi Media Marketing Monday episode. We have a ton of content on this channel: SEO, ads, social media, building out websites, talking about messaging, talking about, what type of content works well, talking about specific, header tags and things like that, and how to build that on a website, for SEO, how to optimize a Google business profile. All of that stuff is on this channel. I highly recommend, if you haven't, watched other videos, go ahead and do that. And of course, like, review, comment, subscribe. We appreciate everyone's support. Please share this. If you have any questions for us, leave it in the comments, or feel free, reach out to us directly wherever, you're listening or watching this. More than likely, you'll talk to myself. So, we're here to help. And of course, if you want to talk to us, you can go to vi.media. That's our website. Feel free, obviously, you can type in on Google Vi Media to reach out to us. We appreciate everyone's support, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.